Hey everybody, welcome back to Durbin's Bourbon. I'm Joe.
I'm Josh.
Today we have a pairing, different types, some information for y'all. This is coming from one of our longtime subscribers, BJ Wolfgang. BJ, thanks. I just responded back to you for y'all watching the show.
He had some great ideas.
He did. The sign that is behind us, you see, BJ made it for us, and he shipped it to us as a gift.
Awfully sweet.
Amazing. He made it on his CNC machines. He has a company out there.
Where was he at again?
He's in Ohio. Northern, towards Columbus or whatnot. I can't remember. Mayfield, somewhere. I can't remember. I have it written on the back of the sign, actually, BJ, so that way I can pull it off and look exactly. Great guy. He's been a subscriber for many, many years. Obviously a very generous one, but he had a great suggestion. Food pairings, chocolate pairings, cigar, smoke pairings. So we thought
we're going to try to go through, do a little sequence of those in the next couple of videos to just, something to do. Like we asked y'all for help and you came through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of great suggestions, so we're looking at all of them.
Right. This particular one is, we've just got E.H. Taylor small batch out here to hide the microphone.
Delicious.
And it's a great whiskey. If you can get it, you should. It is a bottle and bond. It's just a great product made by Buffalo Trace. Good proof point. It's easy to sip. You can mix it in cocktails, whatnot. But it pairs well with a lot of different things as well.
It's a good caramely, deep, rich bourbon.
Yeah. It's a good, solid bourbon whiskey. Josh is going to talk a little bit about more cigar types and cigar pairings, or what works for him, because he's a cigar guy. I myself, as you can see from the collection here, I'm a pipe guy. If I'm going to smoke, I like the pipes. And I have some different tobacco blends that I've ordered that pair well with different whiskeys. And it depends on the type of whiskey, and do you have vanillas, do you have cherries, do you have whatnot. So,
and my knowledge of cigars isn't very broad. Like, I love cigars. I like the ones I like. They're usually medium-ish. So I don't know the brands per se to pair with whiskey, but I know which whiskeys pair well with a cigar, because even a mild one, if you don't smoke cigars a lot, can be pretty harsh. So that's kind of what my take will be on it. Cause as far as cigar brands go, I mean, I don't have a definite favorite of whatever. I have certain ones I like, but I don't think they necessarily... For me, the flavor of the cigar doesn't pair with a certain whiskey. However, there are whiskeys that seem to pair with all the cigars that if I'm smoking a cigar, either, like I said, whether it be kind of a mild one or a Robusto or something in between that. So, anyways, that's, I think, my take will be on it, because I can't recommend cigars. I don't know them enough to be like, this one definitely with this bourbon or this scotch.
Sure.
So,
like food pairings and stuff, too. So what y'all can see here, I've got a pretty good assortment of pipes, some Petersons made in Ireland, some Savinellis that are Italian. Over here in my cigar box, I do have some American-made or Dominican Republic. Got some Cubans up there, Cohiba, and some Romeo and Juliets, which are Cuban. Don't ask how those have been acquired, but they are up there. They're really old. I've had them for several years. Occasionally, I keep the humidifier. Humidor.
Thank
you.
Humidor.
I try to keep it at the 68% level where it's supposed to be. You have all these gadgets and stuff to try and keep it that way, so you can keep your cigars somewhat at a
70% humidity is typical.
So that way they last longer and they're easier to smoke, I guess. I'm not a cigar guy, to be honest.
It just keeps them fresh.
Yeah.
That's all it does. It keeps them fresh for longer, and there's nothing better than the smell of a nice humidor, like a walk-in lounge.
I know. That is cedar impressive.
And
it is pretty impressive.
Tobacco.
Yeah.
Tobacco and booze, it goes together like peanut butter and jelly.
That was a good. That was a good combination. So for pipes, there's a lot of different tobaccos out there. There's your aromatics, there's your regular blends, your black Cavendishes, and all the different types of tobaccos. If you're new to tobacco in general and you're just branching out and you're trying to try something different, you're going into pipes, because pipes, everybody's grandpa, it seems like they look back and they harken back to their memories and they're like, my grandpa smoked this and it always smelled like that. Like cherry is a very
so good.
It is a very common. Absolutely.
I don't like smoking pipes because it's too much work. You gotta have a damper and you gotta do all the stuff, which you like because
I do.
It gives you something to do too. But
right.
I just like lighting a cigar.
Right. Exactly. But the different types of pipes out there, do you have a filter? Do you have non-filter? They have balsa filters. They have material filters, and that's up to you. You're going to have to do your research for what you want to do. Stem length has a big difference on draw and cooling of the tobacco smoke as you bring it in. You have really long pipes like that. That's called a Bing, from Bing Crosby. He was a fan of that type of pipe. It was a long stem, over 7 inches is the shaft. It has a balsa filter.
Not average, is it?
No, that's above average.
Okay, good.
So the long stem with the balsa filter chills the smoke before it gets to you, so it kind of takes that bitter note out of it. And I smoke my favorite tobacco, hands down, I'm on my 4th 10, is Colt Blood Red Moon. It is a cherry aromatic. It goes well with a lot of different whiskeys. It can be bourbon, it can be Irish, it can be Scotch. That cherry blend seems to go really well with all of those, especially some of your wine finishes, because that red wine note is a fruit characteristic. It pairs well. If you're drinking bourbons, there's Macbarren Vanilla Cream is a really big one, very popular. It has a lot of vanilla characteristics, so if you're going to sip on a bourbon, you could puff on that vanilla, that dominant vanilla pipe tobacco, and they're very soft and approachable, so it pairs very well with that type of whiskey. Scotches, you could do more of a more earthy notes, like the Hearth and Home. This is a Derby Club aromatic, which is still an aromatic. I'm fond of aromatics as opposed to just non-aromatic tobaccos. They're just a little harsh for me. But they pair well, and it seems to kind of bring out some of those notes in the whiskey as well. So that's kind of pipe pairings and whiskeys.
Do you have a certain... I know you got your favorite tobacco, which for you probably goes across the board, doesn't matter what you're drinking, I'm assuming.
Right.
Do you have anything like you can specifically would match up with like that tobacco, or you're like, oh, these two, this actual bourbon or this actual Scotch goes so well with this?
Yeah.
Is that because can you pinpoint it that good, like that well?
I probably would use like the Colt Blood Red Moon, that cherry, that really deep, rich cherry. And there's some vanilla notes in here too, because of the Cavendish and the different type of tobacco blends that are put together. I would put that with a heavy bourbon or a cask finished bourbon,
okay, so
wine cask.
A wine cask, gotcha.
Yeah, because of the grapish notes and the fruit, the stone fruit notes that go in that would tie with it.
Can you still, because this is a little different for cigars, can you still pick up flavors in the bourbon or the whiskey while you're smoking?
You can.
So
and
for
that's
me,
what's neat.
with the, I'm smoking cigars. They take such, they're so bold that to find the fine. Once I have a cigar, it's like I'm almost just tasting. Sometimes I'll get a sweetness like a vanilla, because it takes out any of the harshness. Like Ardbeg 10-year is one of my favorites to sip on when I'm having a cigar, because as much as I like the smokiness, I'm getting enough with the cigar. And when I'm smoking the cigar and I drink that, there's like no smokiness to it.
Yeah.
And all I taste is sweet. Yeah. It's almost like a Glenlivet, not really like that, but it's just, it takes the brininess and the smokiness out because of all the deep smoke from a cigar.
From the cigar.
And that's why for like cigar smokers out there, I mean, again, I'm not well versed in the actual cigar world. I do love my cigars, and I have certain ones I like, but I'm not super into like delving into that and figuring out
like certain
what pairs
labels
well, and you know, I'll buy the expensive ones here and there. I'm like, yeah, well, that is really good. Like, I know why people like these, but it's $20 a stick. I can't afford that. I mean, here and there I can, but I'm not gonna get a whole box of them. So, anyways, $20 a stick. People are like, that's it. That's I'm paying like $60 for like good. I mean, obviously there's way more expensive ones.
Yeah.
But as far as cigar smoking and pairing with whiskey, a good smoky Scotch is always good because it takes the smoky. Like if you like smoking cigars and you don't think you like Scotch, I would say try a smoky Scotch with your cigar.
Yes.
And it might change your mind.
I agree.
But if you're smoking 100%. Cigars, you already probably have. Your mouth is a punching bag. That is true. Yeah, you like bitter. You probably like your coffee black. You probably, it's just you're like a nice espresso with your. A lot of people don't drink espresso with cigars.
Yeah,
bitter stuff it works well. So any bourbons, the harsher, the more high rye bourbons I find are better too. A light bourbon like even like a Weller 107 is a little different because it's hot.
Yeah.
But typically, a high rye bourbon or a nice rye counteracts a cigar well because you need the potency because you're just killing your taste buds.
Right, the cigars are so strong.
Yeah. I mean, they're good when you like them. You like them. Like I love them, but I can't pinpoint a typical or a bourbon or a whiskey that I like, except for the smoky Scotches. I think that really pairs well with all the cigars I've smoked.
Yeah.
When I try them, so
I would agree with that 100% because I'm not a cigar smoker. I've tried from time to time.
Green. It's great,
and I turn a little green. His father is a big cigar guy, so when he comes to visit, we always sit on the back porch and he's lighting cigars for me. Try another one, Joe. Keep trying that one until I turn green and almost vomit. But
he tries to let it go out. My dad's like, put that back in your mouth.
Right. So, but I will agree. Even for me as a novice cigar guy, not a real big cigar guy, the milder cigars, not your robustos or whatever, they're light smoking or easy smokes is what they would call them, and a peaty Scotch, they pair amazing because even as a novice cigar smoker but a whiskey drinker that appreciates all different kinds of whiskeys, your Scotches, your Irish, your bourbons, a peated Scotch, that Islay Scotch with that briny note and that sea salt and that robust characteristic, you could almost palate any cigar that you happen to be puffing on at that moment, and it softens the Scotch and softens the cigar. So
the real briny ones, like I think the two best I would say hands down is Lafroig 10-year and the Ardbeg 10-year. They're staples. They're briny, they're smoky, they're great on their own, but if you have a cigar with it, it brings this fruit and nuttiness out that you don't get I don't get at least from when I just sip them because the smoke is so intense.
Right.
But now that I'm smoking a cigar, it takes that out of it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's almost like a filter.
Yeah.
Some kind of a filter for the whiskey.
Like my body's like, oh no, we got enough smoke. What else is in here? What else are we tasting?
Yep.
So, anyways, that I would say that would be my suggestion for if you like cigars and you don't, like I said, you don't think you like Scotch, try a smoky Scotch with them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
it's good.
Yep, it does make a difference.
When you try a lighter Scotch with them, it's for me, it's like it tastes like water almost. It's just not. Yeah, you got to have something strong to combat the heaviness of the cigar smoke.
Cigars, even your weakest cigar,
is still harsh.
Still strong and harsh. Correct. Especially if you're a non-cigar smoker.
Right, you just have one here and there on a birthday party or something. Yeah.
For me, like the Romeo and Juliets are very mild across the board. They tend to be. And
depends on Romeo and Juliet's a brand, so you can go from mild to the darkest. So the ones you probably have are probably like a medium or a mild one.
Yeah, and they're pretty easy, but if you puff on them too fast, you'll turn green. So trust me, I've already been there. I'm just not a cigar guy. I'm a pipe guy.
Pipes are cool. Like I said, I love the smell of them. I just don't have patience.
Right. Because they do. They
go out.
take a
You
little
gotta
time.
get the cherry right. You gotta you got the damper thing, and
yep, you got your tools that you got to use for cleaning, and it's a process. But it does harken back to a lot of memories for folks, especially in our generations, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, fathers.
No one in my family smoked a pipe.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
I think maybe someone did that I was never around.
Yeah.
Like maybe my grandpa that died before I was born. He might have. I think there's a picture of him with a pipe. But never around me.
Wow.
Because I think my grandpa that I was close to smoked cigarettes as a young guy, like because he was in World War II and stuff.
Sure.
But he quickly stopped that before any of the grandkids were around.
And I wish y'all had smell-o-vision because I can smell I opened up my humidor and you can smell this, and we've had these pipe tobaccos open. It smells like a
humidor
in here. It's
the cedar and the
it's pretty neat. And then you mix with the whiskey smell in there. It's just a really neat, tranquil kind of
rich
calming.
Mahogany.
Yes, leather-bound books.
Leather-bound books.
But yeah, we thought thanks to BJ giving us this idea, it would be a neat one, and we've never done anything like this before. And
this is like big in our world. Like he said, I smoke cigars all the time, and with whiskey and whatever. He smokes pipes all the time. His whiskey, so it's like, why not?
Yeah,
especially if you're just getting into it. You're like, well, I'm not really sure.
Right.
You don't buy 50 pipes. You can buy one.
No, and
just
pipes. Pipes are not cheap, especially if you buy good quality pipes.
I always say get good ones. Even if you're like cigars, get decent ones. Yeah. But you can get knockoff stuff, knockoff cigars that are cheaper. But if I want a real good smoke, I'll go to a cigar shop, like a shop, and be like,
right.
I want something I can't get online. It's hand rolled and all that. Again, I'm not really sure what I usually could tell the patron, what I like, and they'll be like, try this one, and you're like, that is delicious.
Right.
But other than that, I order my cigars online. They're knockoff whatevers, and they're delicious. So.
And they leave a nice smell too, like a good clean tobacco. Savinelli's, I'll just tell you all out there, Savinelli's, which is most of my collection, the average price of Savinelli's is about $130 a pipe. So you're paying a pretty good premium for a well-made Italian pipe. They're still hand carved and everything. They come apart really easy.
And it's never, do they ever go bad?
If you don't, I need to change my filter.
Oh man, that's filthy.
So it's just a filter. You pull it out. That's a balsa filter. See how it's black? Need to get a new one. I'll put it in there.
There's so many parts to cigars.
They don't generally go bad, but there is a smoking technique. If you smoke too hot, you can burn through the briar bowl.
Oh.
So when you're holding the bowl, if it's hot in your hand, slow down your cadence.
That's why I couldn't smoke a pipe. I'd just be like,
right, where tobacco, these guys.
Well, cigars the same thing. If you smoke them fast, they're hot.
You're going to get a hot tongue.
You want to enjoy it. You
Correct.
Set it down, let it. Yeah.
And that's no different with pipes. There's a breathing technique, and the internet is full of how to teach you how to smoke a pipe the proper way, so that you don't get a hot tongue or any of that stuff.
Got to roll around my mouth and I'll spit it out the side.
Oh my God!
Can't waste an E.H. Taylor.
No
Sorry,
way.
Colonel.
Yeah.
Even though you're not a colonel.
But with that, there's some suggestions for y'all. Peterson's an Irish-made pipe. I do have a Peterson in here. I think it was...
That's a cool looking pipe. Let me see it.
Yeah, and it comes apart. It's got a heavy drop on it, and I have another one
cool. That's like old,
right. That's like an old
shit.
And that's like this one. And this design here is called a tortoise because of the colors.
Tortoiseshell.
And I love it. I love those drops because they're just the way they bite. They're clean.
That looks way cooler than the straight one.
And it's a great pipe. Peterson, you're going to pay a premium for them too. That's $100 pipe right there. But by quality,
that's a little cap thing for just to keep it fresh.
Yeah, you can have the caps are if you pre-pack your pipe and you push it down, you push your cap on it, it keeps your tobacco fresh in there and it doesn't dry out. So your high-end pipes, a lot of them are going to have those little caps for them as well.
So you just pack it and have it ready?
Yeah, that's and that way you have your cap in there. Also keeps if it's empty, they, like cigars, have an aroma that come out of them. If you smoke harshly, they will burn and you'll have more charish kind of notes coming off the pipe as it's just sitting there. Even though it's out, it just smells kind of stale-ish. If you smoke your pipes cleanly, you don't have that strong smell, and it's pretty clean. Like it's not acidic or anything like that.
I want cigars so bad right now.
So
too bad. Too I can smoke inside. Just be like,
I know we'd have
should have done this outside.
We should have done it in the shop.
Yeah.
Video from the shop.
Maybe we'll do another one
in the future. Correct. I think that would be a great idea.
You could do a whole tutorial on how to light a stupid pipe.
Oh yeah, you could, because
you could teach me.
There's a 3-pack method and how to pack it.
I tried so hard that I could not.
It is. There's some education to it. They can be hard because they go out and that's normal. And what kind of tobacco and what kind of lighter do you use? And
it does smell really good. It's like it's tobacco I feel you could smoke in the house because it smells that good.
Right.
Like it doesn't smell like cigarettes or cigar. It's like you said, it's aromatic. It's like cherry and vanilla.
Yeah, they're designed to be non-offensive.
Correct.
Which is why I lean towards pipes as opposed to other tobacco products.
Being offensive.
But we thought we'd do a video thanks to BJ giving us this great suggestion. He's got a couple more lists on here that he suggested, which we're going to do as well. But this one we've talked quite a bit about. If you all have any questions or comments, please put them down below. Josh and I are drinking the H. Taylor small batch, good old Kentucky bourbon, bottle and bond. It's just a sipper. But with this one, pairings of tobaccos, what have you tried? Do you have any suggestions? Do you have a tobacco that you like, be it a pipe or a particular cigar that you are amazed by the price point, what you paid for it, what whiskey it goes well with, and what your experience is? We love to hear back from y'all because it's education and we're just helping everybody else out, and it's kind of fun.
Right.
It's a hobby.
Yeah.
What do you think? I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we will wrap this video up. We hope you all have enjoyed this video. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. New videos come out every single Saturday. We appreciate every single one of y'all out there watching our show. BJ, thank you very much for the suggestions. Thank you for the sign. Thanks for just being an awesome subscriber and part of our family.
We appreciate it very much.
Very, very much.
All of you.
Yep. And as always, enjoy your whiskeys and bourbons.
Any way you like.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, pal.
Cheers.
Down the hatch. There's more than I thought.
Yeah.